Hi, I'm Rob Reel, and you're watching Western Bass TV.
Hi, I'm Dee Thomas, and we're watching Western Bass TV.
The rod has a real stiff butt section and a triple XL light tip. Now let me explain. The spinning rod that you have is 6.5 feet and parabolic or fast taper. Parabolic is gradual bend from butt to tip, made all in America. Fast taper, heavier in the butt, a little bit lighter in the tip. This thing has a tip on it like a crappie rod. It's super, super light. And that allows you to get your bait out there and start the real rhythmic action in the rod tip. The tip is super soft. When they get your lure, when they bite your bait, the tip is so soft that the fish really don't feel you as much. You understand me? It's gooey. And they seem to hold on to it longer and you can pull into them. The number one thing you can do to improve your drop shotting is to get the right rod. This is a G. Loomis drop shot rod. It says drop shot rod right on it. It has a little neoprene or whatever, wetsuit material retainer in the back for your weight so that everything doesn't get tangled. Fits right here in the back. You slide your weight through there. And a super soft tip. It's an expensive rod, but here is the deal with rods. How many of you watch the tour on the weekends, the Bassmasters and FLW? Okay. When you watch us on tour, I want you to understand the guys that I compete against are the best guys in the world. If you're not absolutely the #1 player in the world and you're a professional golfer and you got to beat VJ and Tiger, I want to have the best clubs. You understand me? I might not be the best player on tour, but I promise you all will have the best golf clubs. That's a controllable variable. These Loomis rods are all $200 to $400. I use nothing else. They don't pay me a dime to tell you that. I use them because they're the best club that's available. So don't buy trash. Try to save the money until you can buy an actual Loomis drop shot rod. That'll save you all the headache I went through. Reel. Spinning reel, medium size. This is a Daiwa. Daiwa and Shimano in the spinning reel business pretty much got it cornered. Don't play around with it. Buy a Daiwa Shimano. This is a Daiwa 2500. It's the best. Those two reels. Oh my goodness. Did he free jump? See? It happened to the keeper in a tournament, you'd have a little problem there. You wouldn't know what to do with that there. Is that a catch, by the way? Did they leap in your boat? Yes. Yeah, in Tennessee it's a catch. We know that. We know that. Jerry's with me from Stratus Boats, my good buddy, and our plant's in Tennessee, and we flew out to do the show. A good reel. So you want a Daiwa Shimano. The size is 2500. The size of the reel is really important. I'm going to cast for you, and I'm going to improve your casting tenfold. Tour players do not do this. We do not pick up the bait and do the technique of throw and hope. We don't do that. Throw it and hope it gets on over there. We also don't throw the bait out. If it goes too far, grab the line and do this. That looks very bad on TV. You understand me? What you do is this. All tour players feather. Feathering. It's a physical technique used by every competitive championship caster. The Steve Rajeffs of the world, all the guys that that cast in tournaments. It's done like this. I don't know if you hold the rod like this. I don't know if you put one finger in front. I don't know if you do this. But whatever, if you were doing any of those, stop. 2 fingers go in front of the throat, the stem, the throat of the reel. 2 fingers go in back. When you put your index finger down on a normal human being's hand, that index finger comes straight down and touches the front of this metal spool. the front end. That's why you hold it that way. When we build the reels at Daiwa, we're praying that you hold it correctly. We don't give you a manual and tell you how to hold it. We just hope you do it. Now, as I make my cast, only watch this finger. You can only watch this index finger. Do not watch the cast. You will. Lure goes out, feather, feather, stop, 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 stop. Meaning I would never ask you to throw a bait casting reel and not drag your thumb. You never make a cast with a spinning reel and not use the index finger and use what all the champion casters in the world do. Meaning they have tournaments where they cast at rings for money. They make $200-300 grand a year. They can't fish their way out of a bag, and they throw at a ring. All the tour players in casting use the feathering technique. That's what you're going to do. Watch again, only the index finger. As lure goes feather, 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 stop. And you're right where you want to be. Number 2, when you cast the spinning reel, never use the handle, the $200 handle, to put the reel in gear. We never do that. $200 reel, and we hand flip the bail every time. Do you understand me? Feather, feather, hand flip bail. Why? It's softer. It's softer. This creates, folks, hitches. Hitches get in the back. You reel in your line. You go to make next cast. Line goes up and down spool at a high speed, catches hitch, and throws all your line off, and it ends up in a real big ball somewhere between here and here. To help cut that down, way down, you always hand flip your bail. So, make your cast, looks like this, hand flip bail, it's soft. Last thing is do this. Meaning when I watch competitive TV and you watch the Gary Kleins and the Aaron Martins or myself when I make the show, you'll see every cast us do this. We're not pulling drag. We are simply making sure that the line is taut on the spool. Do you understand me? And it looks like this in real speed. Make cast, hand flip. Got me? And you'll see me a lot of times like doing this almost nervously like this. All I'm doing is putting my line taut on my spool to eliminate me wasting 20 minutes in a contest of having a big ball here and having to re-rig. And that, folks, is I'm casting underhand because we're in an arena. Overhand, same thing. Do you understand me? You go to make a cast and you make a... Run down there, bud. Unhook that for me, buddy, would you? It's a real live fishing show. See, we got real hooks and everything. One of those fish bites me too, I promise you we're going to bust him. Do you understand me? Hey, listen, you make a bad cast up here in the crowd, you catch it. You understand me? Because I'm in control. I spent $500 for the rod and reel so I would be the boss. Not so the reel would be the boss. And I don't ever worry about where my bait's going because when you feather, you're in total control. And I want you to fish that way. Okay, I'm going to get to that, bud. Here we go. Got me? Here's the line. Will you the question right here? You got me, man. Green, nylon, Stren. Stren, original green nylon monofilament line. Now you say, well, I watch the tour and a lot of you guys use fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon's for the big boys. I want to just tell you very quickly, fluorocarbon is a chemical. It is 100% dry. You put fluorocarbon line underwater for 100 years. Take it off the bottom of the Lake Casitas and it's dry. Nylon is porous. Water gets between the molecules and the nylon. And you can twist it without it being twisted. Tour players, we use fluorocarbon, but we have 3 spools in the boat. We use one from 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, $40 a line. Obviously, it's free and they pay us to use it. We don't care. It's all trash to us. And we do that every single day. You use fluorocarbon, you fish for 2 hours, all of a sudden your line's wrapping your tip on every cast, it's jumping off your spool. You're not a bad fisherman, you're using a chemical. Tour players fight it and use it. Does fluorocarbon produce more bites? Absolutely. Is it a war to fish with? Yes. If you want to fight the war, get after it. All the Japanese players on tour reel in like this with fluorocarbon. If you watch television, you'll see it. You're watching them catch fish, I'm looking at their hands. That's all I ever look at. The mechanics of what they do. Japanese drop shotters reel in like this. They work their bait, and when they're done, Americans don't do that. We're in a hurry. Richie reels in like this. Follow me? That's what Richie does. And in 2 hours, my line's all twisted. So if you're a patient guy, you don't mind reeling in slowly, and fighting the fight, fluorocarbon will produce more bites. Remember, folks, you never ever see your line in the water. What you're looking at is sunlight. Sunlight reflecting off of a product. The product fluorocarbon reflects less light, therefore to the human eye it appears to be clearer. It reflects less sun. You never see your line in the water, you're only seeing sun. Okay? Produces more bites if you want to fight it. I recommend that you buy nylon because it's very close in the number of bites and you won't have a fight. You'll enjoy your day of fishing. 6-pound line if you don't tournament fish. 8-pound line if you're a contest fisherman. 6-pound line, more bites. You're going to break off a few. You can't have that happen in a tournament, so I'll fish 8 in a contest. Color of line is green. Now let me explain this to you. I have never had a job, okay? I have fished tournaments my entire life. I've never worked a day of my life. My idea of a good life is fish and people send me money in the mail. Do you understand me? It's a silly idea, but I think it works, and it's gone this far. Here's the deal. The only reason Fred Hall hires Gary Dobbins and myself and Bobby Barrick is because 100 days a year we have to get in the boat with somebody else we've never met before. You understand me? Tournaments are this. What's your name, bud? Robert? We ever met before, Robert? Okay. Ray Scott goes Rich in the old days. Rich and Robert. And we're going to go tomorrow, bud. Me and you. Lake Casitas in the tournament. Yes, he is. And Robert and I are going to roll tomorrow. When you draw 100 different guys a year and you watch what produces in clear water, green line produces more bites than any other color. I'll be noticing my partner getting bites and look at his line, it's always green. The entire sport's based on a theory, guys. No bass has ever talked. Is that correct? When a bass does a seminar, I lose my job. The entire stupid sport is built on a theory. On a theory. So my personal theory is green line. And the only reason they hire tournament anglers, we're not professional speakers by trade. It's that we have to fish with other people where we might have a better theory. So we got a rod, Loomis drop shot rod, 8-pound line, 6 green, either one, 6 or 8, and a Daiwa reel. Real simple, folks. People say, when you fish the drop shot, do I have to fish it totally different? Listen, have you ever fished with a buckshot up your line, a split shot? Has anybody ever done that? Raise their hand. Of course, everyone has. Whether it be with a night crawler or a plastic worm. A weight, correct? It's a buckshot. You buy them at a Walmart. You smash them on your line up here. If I let go of this thing and drop, does that make you feel any better? Does that make you understand that it's exactly the same thing you've been using? It's just reversed? So no, you don't stand different when you worm fish. You don't throw it in different spots. You do the same thing you've always done. You throw it in 0, 2, 110 feet of water. I've caught them that deep at Shasta. 0 to 110, shoreline or boat, Farm pond, strip pit, reservoir, river. You fish it at any depth. When you cast your bait out, you fish it just like you do a worm. Shoulders square with target, hands between waist and shoulders, meaning like this, and relaxed. Soft hands, just like golf. That's why, by the way, when you catch 4 bass in a tournament and you're trying to catch your 5th one and you can't, your hands are tight. Do you understand me? Tour players for the last 40 minutes talk to themselves and say, soft hands, soft hands. You can't catch one when you're like that. That's why when you catch a limit, it's so easy to cull. Your hands are soft. You get tight hands, you can't physically move your arms, you can't work the bait. I always talk to myself in the last 40 minutes when I have 4. Soft hands, Rich, soft hands. Get your bait out there, and the reason that you keep your shoulders square is so that you're in position when you get a bite. Let's just do this real quick. Jerry, go ahead and hold it if you would. And wrap up on it a few times, bro. Meaning if I cast toward you right here, I never worm fish like this. You know, talking to my friend and doing this. If I did get a bite like that, before I did anything, I always roll my shoulders to the target and then set the hook. You got it okay, Jerry? Meaning, you don't want to be like this. Got one, I got him. Follow me? If you're, hey, listen, if you're going to be out there, at least look like you know what you're doing. Do you understand me? So when people drive by, you at least look cool. Listen, this is what we call on tour. This is another one we see a lot of. Guy buys a fishing rod. You understand in Mexico they use a beer can and string. You understand that? So they got to use the arms a little bit to set the hook with a beer can. You spent $300 for a rod. Your arms are too short to fish with. They're only 3-4 feet. If they were 12 feet long, the beer can would be the hot ticket. They wouldn't sell any rods. You spent $300 on the rod. You have to use the rod. You never use your arms bass fishing. Fly fishing, you do. Ocean fishing, big iron, you do. Bass fishing, no. It's all here in the wrist. What I mean by this is go ahead and use your arms and set the hook. And I got one. I got one. I got one. I got one. There he is. I'm the man. I'm the man. Hey. Let me tell you something. We call this on tour when we see a guy doing this, being held up. That's what happens at a bank when there's a stick up. They always tell you put your hands over your head because they know you can't do anything. Listen, if you want to look correct, look like you know what you're doing, never this. There's only one place to go from here, and that's here. Every fish is faster than every reel made today. The fish will come at you. You will eventually end up here and look comical. Mechanically, you're teaching your child to fish. You teach them shoulders are square with target or entry, and hands are between waist and shoulders. Every time. Now when you get a bite, or how do you work the worm? Just jiggle your little bait along. Little bit of wrist, soft hands. Do you follow me? The real soft tip on the drop shot rod allows you to put a lot of energy into the worm. When you get a bite, I do not want you to set the hook softly. Or excuse me, hard. I don't want you to set it hard, excuse me. It looks like this, with the drop shot and that little worm and the little hook that I'll show you. You do not get to drop your rod, get into a dog point, start to get verbal. Follow me? All right, sucker, I'm going to jerk your lips off. You don't get to jerk and yell, son! You don't get to do that like on TV. You don't get to do that. It looks like this. You get a bite. There he is. Okay, game's over. If you want to say son, you have to say it very lightly. You go, son, like that. You got a little chicken stick in your hand. When we fish on tour with 30-pound line and 80-pound braid and one single big hook, i.e. spinner bait, buzz bait, jig, 10-inch worm in Louisiana tomorrow when I get there, and they bite on a single hook, an 80-pound braid, we pound them grind them, and fillet them through the rod tip. You understand me? Big hook, little hook, you pull hard like that, that drop shot hook flies out of their mouth. Too many times to make it acceptable. Looks like this again, real quickly. You get a bite. Oh. Doesn't hurt, does it? See, Jerry's been fishing 20 years. I want to explain something to you. Oh, by the way, hooks don't hurt anymore. I learned that. My 25th year on tour, I can stick a hook in my finger, it doesn't hurt. So that's something to look forward to, okay? Sorry, bro. Okay, let's show you the bait. On here on the screen, we've got a worm. For those of you on that side, I'm going to show you a hook you've never seen. If you want to walk in front of the TV screen, you can. If not, I'll be at the bottom of the tank to show you this. Here we go. This here is the worm. Can everybody see it on the screen okay? Or used to. Can you see it on the screen okay? Here's a larger one. Now this will revolutionize your drop shot fishing. There are none in the show. They'll be in stores in a week or two. You'll go to Bass World West, Anglers Marine, JT Tackle, Eric's, wherever you buy Eric's Tackle, and you'll buy this hook. It is called a standout. Can you see it in the middle of the screen, bud? Okay. This allows you to rig a drop shot and never ever tie the Palomar knot and take your tag end and stick it through the eye and all this rigmarole. This allows you to tie a knot to the eye, which is right here. The tag end of the line goes through this hole, and the game is over, and your hook stands out every single time 100% perpendicular on your line. That's why you come to the tackle show, see? Weight. Weight is Bakudon. I own this company. Bakudon is a drop shot weight. It's Japanese for the bomb. It looks like a little cherry bomb. It has a stem sticking out of the top of it, and that's why I called it that. Lead weight, swivel, above weight to keep line twist down, and a V-shaped piece of Teflon coated wire on top. Take your hook, tie knot to hook. When you're done tying the knot, take the tag end of the line, the remaining extra line, stick it through this hole. Remaining line goes down, affix weight to end of line. How do you put the weight on? You simply stick the line through the V-shaped piece of wire, which you see right here moving. You see it moving in here. Excuse me. You get the idea. You stick your line through this V-shaped piece of wire, you pull it taut, and it's done. You do not tie a knot to the weight. You do not tie a knot in back of it. You just simply put it through and pull it. And you are done. Take your worm. Two ways of rigging. The distance, by the way, between this hook and this weight will be 12 to 18 inches. Okay? Take your hook. Two ways to rig it. You'll nose hook it, as it looks like here, like so, or you'll wacky style rig it, where you'll rig it in the middle, like so. And you are done. Okay? In the middle or there. A little distance between the two of you. Next one. We're done with the drop shotting. Let's show you a plug. Every year I come to this show and I want to show people things that are really good. New. Far and away, you cannot get these. This is very hard, so this is only for guys that are real serious. These baits right here are made by a company called Zip Baits. That is the hottest new lure from Japan. Very, very, very hard to get. There is one retailer in this show that has them. It's called Eric's Tackle, next to Akuma fishing rods. This is my lure of the show deal. I'll tell you the secret with this. 8 or 9 years ago, I had a little teeny lure company from Japan called Lucky Craft. The phone rang at my house. The lures were at my home. If you wanted to buy them, you called my house. It is now a big monster. I go to the Tokyo show and find these lures, whatever's the hottest new lure in Japan. This is the bait. Zip. 3 or 4 retailers get it. 10,000 lures a year come to America. End of story. There are only 6 accounts in California that have the lure. So you have to fight for it. Zip. Okay? Want to show you that. Let's show you a little crankbait deal and we'll be done. We'll show you the plug in the water. When you take your crankbait, your little zip bait, tie knot. By the way, this is my new lure I'm coming out with. My little surfing. What do you think of that one, huh? You like that one? All right, here we go. Take crankbait. Tie knot. Little zip plug. This one's called a Speed Kid. There are several different plugs they make. I just want you to go and look at them and pick the one that you like. What I mean by that, folks, is here's a variety of plugs. This one here runs 1 foot deep right here. This little guy with the shallow bill runs 1 foot deep. Then you have one that runs a couple feet deep here and 4 feet or so here and a deep one here. So pick the one for the style of fishing you like. They're all incredible. I hardly use any other crankbait anymore. Tie your bait on. I'm not going to show you knots at this distance. I'm tying a really bad knot, by the way, but it's fast and I can get this going. If you ask me what we use on tour, all players use Palomar knot. Take the plug. Cast to target. When you wind your plug, I do not want you simply reeling your plug. I want you to have a little bit of action in your plug and a little bit of stalling. Let's see if we can get one to bite all those treble hooks. They're getting alive a little bit. They didn't even know where they were the other day. Okay? Show you the plug. Tie your line direct. No snap, no swivel. Make your cast. I do not want you just fishing the plug as I'm doing right here. You watch me with a steady retrieve. I very rarely fish the plug that way. Bait casting rod or spinning. Take your plug, throw it out, control the depth with the tip of your rod, keeping it high to keep it up and over grasses, higher, lower to achieve depth, rod tip all the way down or in the water. Reel your plug nice and steady with little twitches and pauses in it. Looks like this in real life. Just a tremendous fish catcher, this Zip crankbait. Pitch your bait, little pauses, watch again, wind your bait, get it to depth, little movements. We got one silly one. I got to keep following him now. I see him there. Uh-oh. Really not supposed to catch one, but it's the last day and I'm flying tonight, so let's see what happens here. Oh, oh. Okay, you can see that the little pausing is what causes movement by the bass. So you want to have a little bit of, get it down there, little teeny pauses, get your bait down. I see so many people wind their plug and they fish it flat, straight, and consistent. You don't want to do that. When they bite the plug, remember, set the hook softly. It's a treble hook lure. You're trying to put 6 different points in. It's the worst hook made in the world. #1 worst hook made in the world is a treble hook, for obvious reasons. I mean, if I take a single hook and I hold it and try to pull it into my hand, it's very easy. You take 6 points and lay it on your hand, you have to pull, let's say hypothetically, 6 times harder. Do you understand? All the points work against each other. Worst hook ever made, is the treble. Just so you know, it looks wonderful, it's the worst. If they make a new one called a quadruple, it'll be even worse. Do you understand? So I want you to remember, with the plug, they slash at it, they're usually not hooked very well. Take it easy, soft, lean into them, nice easy drag. Don't get too crazy with it. They're usually skin hooked, little parts, skin, gill plates, outside the mouth, a lot of different deals. Once again, with the plug, never fish deep, heavier than 12-pound line. I like to fish 8 to 12-pound test line. The smaller the plug, the lighter the line. A little guy like this is 8-pound test line. A bigger plug, 10 or 12-pound test line. Okay? Listen, we want to thank you all for coming. Catch a bunch. And I'll sit here with you here at the bottom of the tank for as long as you like. Thank you. Enjoy the day.